Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining. My name is Karla Chacon. I am the Education Pathway Specialist for the College of Education here at Cal State Dominguez Hills. So pretty much what I do with my role is, if you do choose to go ahead and transfer here with us once you are almost done with earning your bachelor's, or if you have your bachelor's, I am the point of contact to help you either choose the right teaching credential program or just in general learn about all the other programs that we have here in our college. For example, like our master programs, credential programs, and even our new EDD program. So that's me. And we will go ahead and get started. So I know we have four people here with us, so it's a smaller group. So I do have an icebreaker that I would like to go ahead and kind of start off to kind of, we can kind of get to know each other. So thank you for joining once again. So if you guys don't mind, if each of you can let me know what your name is, your major, what year you're in, and some of the goals that you have after either transferring, career goals, or if you do want to become a teacher, what type of teacher you want to become. Anyone? I know we have Anthony, Ashley,
Are
Bree.
you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start us off. My name is Anthony. My major is currently psychology. I believe I'm like late junior, early senior year. Um, and my goals kind of shifted beforehand. I wanted to kind of be like I guess like a guidance counselor, but then my girlfriend's sister-in-law is actually an elementary school teacher, and she kind of like inspired me to kind of go through that route. And ever since that, I kind of just been searching for information on like where I can start, where I could begin, what do I need to do. And this kind of popped up on like I think my emails, and then I seen it and I was like, oh, I'll give it a try. I'll go ahead and sign up for it, and I'm happy that I'm here to get this information.
Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. Yes, I have a lot of good information for you all, a little bit about our school, our program. So if you guys do have any questions later on that you would like to ask me, I do have my contact information at the end, so feel free to reach out to me. So thank you, Anthony. We do have Ashley, Bree, Brianna, and Erica.
Hi, I'll go ahead and start. I guess continue. Well, my name is Erica Gutierrez. I actually I graduated from Cal State Dominguez. I have a
Oh,
sociology and a minor in Chicano studies.
perfect. Thank you for joining.
And my goal is actually to return. I'm actually interested in the marriage and family therapy. So I am definitely going to be in contact with you, Carla.
Yeah, definitely. Even though that program is not specifically with our department, but I would be more than happy to refer you to them.
But actually, the thing is that I'm here because I want to see the possibilities of becoming like a substitute teacher, at least to balance out my, working and having to do a master's program.
Definitely. Perfect. Thank you, Erica. We have
I can go next.
okay.
So my name's Ashley Placencia. I have my major from Cal State Long Beach in Child Development and Family Studies. I'm currently a substitute teacher, K through 12, but usually just elementary. I was able to do like a long-term assignment, so I was able to have a second grade class the whole year, like 2 or 3 years ago. So it just showed me that I really do want to be a teacher, specifically with like second or third grade. I work for the USD, so they have a district program where you can get your credentials through the district. But unfortunately, because of budget cuts and we don't have enough students and stuff, it's kind of like on hold. So now I'm looking at different avenues to get my credentials.
Got it. And I have good information as well. We work with LAUSD a lot, and actually a lot of our students get credentialed. A lot of LAUSD teachers get credentialed here from us here at Dominguez. So thank you for joining. Last but not least, we have Bree. Bree, if you'd like to also.
Yeah, okay. So my name is Bree. I'm an English major. I'm currently working on my bachelor's. I'm almost done with it at Cal State, and my goal is to teach probably like middle or high school.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Bree. All right, and I'll kind of give my information as well. So, as mentioned, my name is Karla Chacon. I am actually an alumni here from Dominguez Hills. Not just because I work here, but I think it just comes to show what type of campus it is. The fact that I graduated and I'm still here, it's pretty amazing. I'm willing to give my testimony on this school. My major was sociology. um i I don't know, I think at this point, goal wise, I think my calling is maybe to become a counselor specifically for college counseling, so maybe in the future we do have a program in that, which is maybe I'm willing to go ahead and do, right, learning how to balance personal life with, education. But definitely, I would say that would be one of my goals. But all right, we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. So we are actually located in Carson, California. We do offer 7 seamless transfer pathways, so you can transfer right from your community college. For those who, for example, have taken any courses during their undergrad, those courses align, as well as other additional pathways that we have. We are actually one of the most affordable CSUs in the SoCal area. So I know there's a couple around us, but we are actually the most affordable, which is great. Over 70% of our students actually receive financial aid and scholarships. I was actually one of those students, part of that 70%. I received financial aid, Pell Grants, scholarships. Even applied to some of the grants that they had here on campus as well. So that's definitely a plus. 70% of our students are students of color. 50% are first gen students. I myself am also first generation. And we also do have very supportive spaces for every identity here on campus, which is great. And you're probably thinking, why CSUDH, right? I know it's a bit of a distance from Rio Hondo, especially with traffic. But majority of our students actually come back for a teaching credential within that area. I have a lot of students that I'll talk to from like El Monte, Whittier, Norwalk, within that area, who have either transferred from Rio Hondo, who have came here and now are doing their teaching credential. So why CSUDH, right? We have, as mentioned, we are actually one of the most affordable colleges here in California, CSU wise. We do also have a highly diverse student body. We also do have elementary subject matter program here offered on campus, which is, I'll go into detail with what that major is. We do have a couple as well. I know there was someone who was interested in teaching, I believe it was English, if I'm not mistaken. But we do have a couple of programs here, and I'll talk a little bit more about what subject matter is. Students actually rank Dominguez Hill campus to be a community-oriented and supportive campus. We are we are a bit small compared to other campuses, but we definitely are growing. There's a lot of new buildings that are coming up, dining halls. We are actually having a new student health and recreational center. We are having a new prosthetics building as well. So we're definitely growing. These should be some of the new things that should be completed for next year, for 2026. Here at the College of Education, we have one major that is our liberal studies major, that is a direct pathway into becoming an elementary school teacher. So the credential for that would be a multiple subject credential. So here at the College of Education, our faculty have extensive experience as teachers and principals, which is pretty amazing. And all prerequisites for the credential program are actually completed during your undergrad if you transfer here with a liberal studies degree and you want to teach elementary school, which is pretty great as well. And just an easier access to the classes that you need as well. So as mentioned here at the College of Education, we only have one major, which is liberal studies. We also do have a couple of master programs. So masters in education and school leadership for those who want to become principals. We have a master's in counseling as well, and our new doctoral program as well. So here are all of our teaching pathways that we offer. So basically, this kind of map, as you know would want to say, actually lets you know, depending on what it is that you want to teach, would be the program that you would do. For anyone here who is interested in teaching pre-kinder all the way up to third grade, more in like the early childhood education setting, we have our new PK3 credential. This credential is a general credential that lets you teach from pre-kinder all the way up to third grade. We were actually one of the first CSUs here in the LA area to get approved for the program. So no one as of now has the PK3 credential on campus until the end of this semester. So we're pretty excited. Our first set of students actually started last semester. So it's still new, right? It's about a year already since we've gotten approved for the program, and it looks pretty great. We do also offer automatic scholarships for those of you who are interested in applying to this specific credential for PK3. For those of you who are admitted into that credential program, you can receive up to $15,000 in a scholarship form that goes towards your tuition. So it is broken up in between 3 semesters. So as a full-time student, you can complete any of these credentials in 3 semesters, which takes like about a year and a half. So we have full-time, part-time options, pretty much depends on what it is that you know that you want to go ahead and do. But for this specific credential, you can get up to $15,000. So you can get up to 5,000 for 3 semesters, for up to 3 semesters. We also do have our multiple subject credential, which is our credential that lets you teach elementary school, K through 6, sometimes even all the way up to 8th grade. So that's something to consider as well. Our single subject credential lets you teach middle school and high school. I actually do have a list and some of the slides later on that show you what subjects we offer. So just like basics, we have English, art, music, and then we'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit more. And last but not least, we have our education specialist credentials for those of you who want to work in special education. We do have 3 credentials. We have our birth to 5 years old, and then we have 2 that are extensive support needs and mild moderate that let you work with students from K-12. So these are all the credential programs that we have. Any questions as of now? Let me check the chat real quick. I think we're good. No questions. All right. So here's another kind of map that just shows you, depending on which credential you want to do, is the major you should have, right? Just for a seamless pathway transition onto the credential program. So for those of you who are interested in doing a PK3 credential, if you are considering into transferring over, we recommend you either do your major in child development or liberal studies. So the reason why we ask for either or is because, first of all, child development gives you automatic subject matter. Has anyone here heard of an exam called the CSET? Anyone?
Yes, I've already taken those. They're not fun.
Exactly. So the CSET, I know a lot of people are not too, they don't look forward to taking that exam. So that exam basically is, for example, if your major is business, right, and you want to teach K-6, your major doesn't show proficiency to the credential that you want to teach. So you basically have to show us that you have proficiency through that exam to teach the grades that you want to teach. So that is why people usually will take the CSET if it's not through your major during your undergrad. So for example, child development is an automatic major match, right? It's a subject matter approved program that we have here to get into the PK3 credential. For liberal studies, this is the pathway to go into multiple subjects, right? But you can still have this major. It only gives you about 15 to 18 units to meet subject matter, and you need 24 to meet for PK3. And another big advantage that child development students have here at Dominguez Hills is that they actually complete the first semester of the credential during their undergrad. So they would only complete the credential in 2 semesters instead of 3. So the same thing happens with liberal studies. If you are a liberal studies major, you complete the first semester of the credential program during your undergrad, during your senior year, and then you'd finish the credential, the multiple subject credential, within 2 semesters. So just easier pathways, right? You wouldn't have to take the CSET. It's a direct pathway into the credential program. As well for single subject. If you're interested in teaching middle school, high school, we would recommend you choose the major of the subject that it is that you want to teach. So, for example, if anyone would like to teach PE, physical education, we actually have a teaching option here on campus. That specific route and major help you right into the credential program. It doesn't help you do 1 semester like the other ones during your undergrad, but it does help you meet subject matter, which is amazing. Um, we also do offer bilingual authorizations that you can add to your credential if you either speak any of the Spanish or Asian languages. It's after your credential. For our Spanish languages, it's like about 4 classes you have to take. And for our Asian languages, I believe it's like about 2 to 3 classes that you take. This is added onto your credential as well. So there's that. We do have our education specialist credential. So for those of you who, as mentioned, want to stick with special education, we have our early childhood credential. This lets you work with students, well, kids from 0 to 6 year olds. We have our mild, moderate support needs. This specific credential helps supporting with learning disabilities, attention with difficulties, academic supports, as well as our extensive support needs. And this is what that specific credential does. For liberal studies, we do have options that you can add to your major. There's a lot of students who add Spanish as an option. We have math. We also do have our educating children with disabilities option that helps you into the credential programs as well, or even if you want to do multiple subjects. So liberal studies is more of the general elementary, right? And that's the major that we have here in our college. I know there was a lot of information. Any questions? No? Alrighty, we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. We starting this semester for fall 2025, we do have 2 new minors in child development. So for anyone here, I know there was 2 students who have already had their bachelor's, right? If any of you are interested in going into PK3 and you don't have 24 units in either early childhood education or child development, you will need to have those 24 units. But if you're transferring over and, like, for example, you still want to stick to your major being psychology, right? You can actually add a minor to your bachelor's degree to help you meet subject matter. So we have one in child development, which is 18 units. We have a minor in early childhood development and education that gives you 24 units. So something to think about. That's something that we have as well that we just started offering this semester. And as for our accelerated pathways into the PK3 credential here at Dominguez Hills, you would obviously start off at your community college, complete your AST and ECE, early childhood education. You would transfer over here to Dominguez. You would either complete your child development major in concentration in early development and learning, and we do have a specific PK3 credential track. So this is when you're taking the first phase. So instead of semesters, once you're in a credential program, we call them phases. Once you're doing your bachelor's here, you would complete phase 1 of that credential program during your undergrad, and you would only need 2 more phases, which is 2 more semesters, and you have that credential. And here's more information on our single subject credential. These are all of the subjects that we have. So we have art, English, physical education, math, music, social science, science, biology, chemistry, geoscience, physics, and world language. So um, this has been a pretty high demand, I would say, this last semester. Our single subject credential, we had a lot of candidates for that program. So if this is something that you're interested in doing, I know there was someone who had mentioned they did want to teach one of these. I don't recall specifically who it was, but we do have our single subject credential as well that you can apply to. So now I'll just talk about some of the requirements that we require for our credential programs, additional information on like scholarships that we have. And brief information on the whole transfer process. So for our credential requirements, you must have your bachelor's degree completed or about to have that degree completed. So you can actually apply to the credential program the last semester of your senior year so that you can start the following year. So our application is currently open right now for anyone who's interested in starting next semester. The deadline for that is for November 1st. We have admission for fall and spring semester for all of our credential programs. We don't have any classes in the winter or the summer, which is awesome. GPA, we do, for most of our credentials, it's like about a 2.5 that you need to have in either your full bachelor's degree or a 2.5 in the last 60 units that you've taken. Um, you will also need two letters of recommendation. These should be from like faculty members, employers, or just in general, someone that knows who you have the abilities to work with children. We don't get letters, obviously, who come from friends or family because they have to be professional letters. As mentioned, the credential can be completed in 3 semesters as a full-time student unless you're doing, for example, a multiple subject credential and your undergrad was liberal studies, or if you want to do the PK3 credential and your Dominguez Hills major was child development. And we do have the requirement of having subject matter for each of the credential programs, but you don't need to complete this until you're in the program. So it's not something to worry about as of now, but it is something to consider because depending on your on subject matter, right, it just depends on like the pathway into getting into the program. And then Anthony said, where can I find the link to the application? Yeah, so I have my email at the end. Feel free to go ahead and email me, Anthony, and I will send you all the information that you need, depending which program that you're interested in. We also do have info sessions that I host every semester. I talk about the program structure, requirements, everything that you need to know, and we can also meet one-on-one if you'd like. So thank you for that. Okay, and here in the College of Education, we do have scholarships. So I am also part of an initiative that's called Toros Teach LA, which is an initiative that we have that started from the Balmer Group. They did give us a very generous gift in which we provide scholarships to you all. So whether if you're an undergrad, if you're in a credential program, or if, for example, if you're in a master's program, you are able to apply to our Toros Teach LA scholarships. We have a little over 100 people who receive these scholarships, so it's not like we only have like 5 for each section. It's a couple. So our undergraduate scholarships are for liberal studies and child development students. Um, as well as for our credential students, we have some for multiple subjects, PK3, and our early childhood credential for special education. As well as here, the College of Education, we also do provide scholarships for undergrads that are liberal studies majors, or if you're in a credential program, these are more of a need-based. So I believe for some of these scholarships, it's only like one or like three max, but for Toros Teach LA, believe it or not, all you need to do in order to apply is just submit your official transcripts and answer 3 questions. Very easy. So we offer a lot of support for that. Transfer process. So anyone here interested in applying and transferring over for fall 2026, the application is actually going to open on October 1st of this year. It'll close December 1st via Cal State Apply. I know last year they extended it all the way up to March. Don't know if that's going to happen this year. You should have completed 6 transferable semester units of general education courses with a grade C or better. Hopefully, these requirements are still the same. Overall GPA 2.0. And be in good standing at the last college or university attended. And that's pretty much it for the presentation today. Here's my information. If any of you have any questions with the programs, I'll be more than happy to send the links. We also will be having an event on October 1st. Sorry, we have so many events going on October 1st. We're having our first teaching credential fair here on campus in the College of Ed. We'll be showcasing all of our credentials. You can meet faculty, students. We'll have like refreshments. It's like a meet and greet. You can stop by the tables, kind of learn about what we offer, but feel free to also visit the campus if you'd like. It'll be a really nice event. We are also having a transfer fair on Friday next week on the 26th. For anyone who's interested in transferring over, we'll be having additional information on like our majors to get into like single subject, multiple subject. And we will also be having a very nice resource fair in which we'll be having a lot of our in-campus departments talk about like what they offer. As for support, we'll have our Immigration Justice Center there, our affinity centers. Like we have, for example, we have a Black Resource Center, we have a Latinx Center, Asian Pacific Center as well. So it'll be really nice, really fun. You'll get to talk about with other students or just in general hear about other people's experiences into what that transfer process looked moving here to Dominguez, doing the credential, and now actually like being out in the field. So let's see, anyone have any? Oh, thank you, Emily. Yeah, so she posted the flyer here. Lunch will be provided if you are able to attend. That'll be great. Please RSVP. As mentioned, lunch, parking will be provided, and it'll be a really nice event. If you haven't been on campus, if you're interested in, learning about any of our other programs, that would be great. Any questions now for me? Let me stop sharing my screen. No questions.